Welcome back to another CTFlearn challenge write-up video. In this video, we'll be walking through the forensics challenge Chalkboard. Let's get into it. Solve the equations embedded in the Jpeg to find the flag. Solve this problem before solving my scope challenge, which is worth 100 points. Alright, so they give you a little math.jpg file. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. And it looks like some chalkboard math. Lovely. Let's run exif tool on the image. And here's our challenge right here in this comment header. The flag for this challenge is of the form CTFlearn I like math xy, where x and y are the solution to these equations. 3x plus 5y equals 31, and 7x plus 9y equals 59. So let's copy this out for future reference that we can use. All right. Now this is just a simple systems of equations. There's just a couple with some easy values to manipulate. So you could solve this out by hand, but let's solve it programmatically. And I'm going to show you a couple ways we can do that, or a couple different methods rather. So first method is with a Python library called Simpy, which is a math library that lets you perform different math functions such as solving equations. It's kind of like a dumbed down version of Sage Math. If you guys don't know, Sage Math is like the go-to most powerful math Python thing in existence. It's very strong. That being said, let's go ahead and run Python, and we're going to do from Simpy import star, and we're going to define a symbol of x, and symbol just allows Simpy to know that these values are what you're intending to solve for or use in their functions, essentially. You have to define them as symbols. And we want to also define a symbol y. Now we're ready to do the solve function. So we're going to do solve, and then you're going to wrap your systems of equations in parentheses, separated by a comma. Now, in order for Simpy to interpret this properly, you have to make the systems equal to 0. It's going to automatically assume that the systems are equal to 0. And with some basic algebra, we can actually make these systems equal to 0. So the first one would be 3x plus 5y, subtracting 31 from both sides gives you minus 31 on the left and 0 on the right. And for the second one, same thing, 7x plus 9y minus 59 from both sides is going to give you minus 59 on the left and 0 on the right. Okay, so the parts that we're going to put into Simpy here are just these portions because it's automatically going to assume that these are equal to 0. So we just need to do 3 times x plus 5 times y minus 31, comma, 7 times x plus 9 times y minus 59. And then we're going to put the two variables that we're solving for, x and y. And I think the syntax is right. Let's go ahead and let it run. And there you go. X is 2 and y is 5. So we could solve the CTF challenge right now. But I want to show you the other method, which is with Sage Math, which is what I mentioned to and alluded to earlier. So remember, Sage Math is very powerful. It has a pretty good amount more functionality than Simpy, and I believe it is faster, at least for some things, because it does do a lot of optimization in its calculations. But enough of all that. Let's exit out of Python, and we're going to just run Sage. And I know it's kind of hard to see because of the coloring, and I could probably change it, but I'm not exactly sure how to for it. So just bear with me. I'll be saying what I'm putting in out loud, so you won't have to necessarily just see it. You'll be able to know what I'm putting in as I say it. And so we're going to define two variables, x and y, equals var x space y. This is kind of like the equivalent of what we had to do with Simpy with the symbols, except we can do it all in one line this time. And now we're going to use Sage Math solve function, but it's going to be crafted differently. Sage Math doesn't care whether the systems equal 0, because you can just set whatever you want them to be equal to in the actual systems themselves when you're putting them in. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're going to do 3 times x plus 5 times y. And now this is very important. You need to do double equals 31. Okay, see, we didn't have to set it to 0. And then you're going to put a comma, and then we're going to do 7 times x plus 9 times y is equal to 59. Okay, and then just like in Simpy, we're going to put x and y as the variables we want to solve for. Now, Sage did take a little bit longer to run than Simpy on this, and I'm curious to know why that is the case, because Sage should be faster, but we'll see what happens this time around. You see, there was a little bit of a pause there, whereas it was pretty much instant for Simpy. So that is an instance where Simpy was faster than Sage Math, which is very interesting. But as you can see, we got the same results, x equals 2 and y equals 5. So all we need to do is plug those into the flag format we see here, x equals 2, y equals 5, and then just submit this flag. All right, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Turn on post notifications to get regular injections of cyber content directly into your feed. Check out our Patreon, join our Discord, and follow us on Twitter. Links in the description box down below. And leave any feedback or questions in the comment section down below. This is Almond Milk. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.